everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today I'm going to show you guys what I have going on in my garden, a complete garden tour, because now there's finally stuff in there to really be able to show you guys. So let's go take a walk. First, I would like to say a big thank you to everybody that is new to my channel and that is subscribed to my channel. We got a lot of subscribers this last couple of weeks, and I just want to say a big welcome and big thank you guys for joining my crazy channel. I have a small space garden in the middle of the Arizona desert, and I like to grow things. I like to grow as much stuff as I possibly can. So I'm going to take you guys on a tour. If you guys have not subscribed, please click the red subscribe button, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up because it does help with our YouTube ratings. So let's start from the front, guys. So this is my kitchen herb bed. As you guys can see, this is one of my more tamed beds, and it's like this all the way up until I get to the spring, when I let it completely grow out, so then I can really start drying things. But this bed is for me to use on a daily cooking basis. As you can see what I use a lot of, which is my rosemary, my thyme. I'm actually letting my thyme grow back because this thyme got attacked by voles, but the thyme, the sage I use a lot too as well. And then my parsley I just let grow back, so I'm going to be starting to use that one again. And then coming up here, I'm going to use my marjoram and my oregano, and then also my chives, just because I started growing these out mainly for the holiday, because I wanted to have enough different little dishes for the holidays. So for those of you guys that don't know, Mia and Mr. Benson are Jewish, and we celebrate Hanukkah. And I like to do, even though Hanukkah is 7 days of me cooking, I also like to do a lead up of me cooking even more. We call it Practice Hanukkah. We also do Thanksgiving too as well. I was not born Jewish, so we still do Thanksgiving as well. But during the holidays, I just love to cook, and I love to cook all different types of recipes that I've personally created. It makes me feel really excited about that. So my herb bed is something that's really useful for me. So part of my herb bed is also my herb wall. So on my herb wall, I have some hanging pots, and I made this little wood piece and the hooks to be able to hang it up on there. But I have thyme. I have three different types of thyme. And then I have a purple basil, and then I also have a Thai basil. We do like a lot of Vietnamese foods, so we use Thai basil with that as well. And then you can never go wrong with mint, because having a good mint tea during the holidays and just during the winter at all is amazing. So down here, we are still having some issues with the lettuce. That is the only thing that's getting eaten at this point. And so at night, I put these little cups over it. So then I just pull them out like this during the day. I will need to get bigger cups, or bowls or something like that. But we have the lettuce, which is in a row here. We have spinach right here. Then we have some collard greens, which are starting to do really nicely. I'm still going to go ahead and move this tomato plant. I asked you guys on, I think it was Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you do so there. But I am going to go ahead and move this tomato plant to where it can get more sun, and to where I can completely put in the row covers. As you can see, it already started moving them in order to completely put a row cover over this. And then I have my kale. I have just the regular curly kale, which is one of our favorites. And then I have an experimental purple kale, which I have not had, but I love the curly kale so much that I thought, why not just have one with a little bit of color? And then I have one surviving cabbage. I'm growing some more cabbage inside, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to add to that. But I have one surviving cabbage, one random radish, and that is actually an artichoke that just popped back up out of the ground. Now with putting together this bed, which is one of my main long beds, this one I want to make sure that I'm kind of preparing for the spring. And for the spring, I'm going to get a lot of those little white butterflies that just lay caterpillars all over my green leafy things. So one of the things that I want to do is actually protect this bed with a row cover, which is why I thought, okay, maybe I should move the tomato too. So then that way I can just have that bed be things that I know are going to get eaten by the caterpillars, and then that way I can put a netting over it and completely cover it. So it's finally time for my poor little mums to die back. Hopefully they'll throw some more seeds down here and then they'll grow back. So these are just the flowers that are dying. The actual plant isn't dying. It'll regrow a lot more flowers probably within like the next couple of weeks. And then I have my bush tomato, which I love these little, it's a Goliath tomato, and basically they just grow pretty much no taller than this, and then they put out a lot of these like little medium-sized tomatoes that have a really like strong taste to them. It's a very tomatoey taste to them, so I do like using those in my stews. And then I have an eggplant here, which my eggplant, guys, is starting to flower, so I should be getting 3 little eggplants coming soon here. And then I have my shishito peppers, which are doing amazing. I have shishitos covering all over this plant. Now, for those of you guys that wonder what the plant looked like, the one that I cut down, this is the one that I cut way back during the fall, or sorry, during the summer when it was super hot outside. This is it now growing back and refruiting through the fall. And then I have the other one that I cut way back that I saved from the store, and then I cut it way back and then also trimmed the bottom. And then I have the new one over here that I cut way back and trimmed the bottom, and that one's also covered in shishito peppers too as well. I have one more eggplant. This is also the eggplant that I cut way back, and as you can see, it's really starting to grow in its new leaves, and it has a little eggplant bud on here. This one I have had for 2 years, and every year I just completely cut it back and then let it regrow back out. Now back here, I have some tomatoes. This one is a super sweet tomato, and then this one is just a regular Bonnie's Original tomato. I got this one from the AZ Worm Farm, and this one I think I got from Home Depot as like a plant rescue. Then I have my jalapeno bed. I have 2 jalapenos back here. This is the jalapeno plant, guys, that got ate down to nothing, and as you can see, it's grown back. It's starting to grow back, and soon it'll be just as big as the ones behind there. Also, we're growing back this parsley because I used this parsley to make some chimichurri, so now I'm letting it grow back so then I can do it all over again. So I can't express to you guys more how you should never take out your pepper plants. Just overwinter them or over summer them, as we do here in Arizona, and just let them grow, because if you cut them all the way back, even if it's like down to where it's like nothing on there and looks just like a stem, that one that got eaten had all the leaves eaten off of it and it still grew a stem. As long as that stem is green, the plant's still alive. But you can cut your pepper plants way back and they'll grow back, and then they'll fruit even more. So that's what I've done with my shishito pepper plants, and that's why I love having shishito pepper plants, because it usually takes like a really strong heat wave or like disease to take them out, and normally I can cover them and kind of save them, or I just cut them way back and then cover them with a thick shade cloth while we are getting through those really hot months. Last summer was abnormally brutal. I'll just say that. So although it seems highly unlikely, I'm still trying to grow some beans. I have my Chinese red long noodle beans there. As you can see, they get sun skull and then the cold gets them. Actually, I don't think this is sun skull. I think it's just from the cold that's getting them. And then these beans just kept getting attacked by the voles and the rats. And so now that they're gone, they're starting to grow back, but it literally left me like 3 bean plants. So we'll see what happens there. I have my bell peppers back here. That is another bell pepper, guys. Let me see if I can get closer to it. And as you can see, it was cut or eaten all the way down to the stem, and it's growing back. And then I have some more tomatoes over here. Those ones are big beef tomatoes. I have my first Malabar spinach plant, which I love. It's absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, and I love how these things climb. And then I have an old okra plant that tried to grow okra, but it's just not the season for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and rip that one out. And then I have my yellow bell pepper plants right here. Now this one is my emptiest bed, and that's because I plan to put a lot of the stuff that's in the house right now that's growing underneath the grow lights, I plan to put over there. So later on, I'll let you guys see what I have growing on in there. I have a couple different variety of things that I'm trying, and I'm going to plan on putting them here and then a lot in the pots, because this is pretty much one of my only open spaces, and then a lot of my pots are open right now too as well. So this one is my larger Malabar spinach plant. I kept accidentally topping it, so it grew like really bushy at the bottom, but it's starting to climb up to the top. But it probably should be a lot taller if I didn't keep accidentally topping it. And then I have another tomato plant back there, and then I have the biggest one right here. This tomato plant gets the most amount of sun, and I'm growing it on a mighty crop, which I think is so helpful because it's keeping the plant completely tamed so that I can grow my broccoli down here. And so this is going to be the first year that I grow a tomato plant with my broccoli. And also I'm going to throw some cilantro in here too as well. So this bed behind me is my absolutely most highest producing bed. Anything I put in here pretty much grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And it is because this part of my garden gets the most sun. So I try to put things back here that I know are going to need a lot of sun and that I really like eating. So we'll be adding some snow peas back here, and then we'll also be adding just some cilantro too as well, because we love cilantro and we can eat it every single morning on our eggs and every single afternoon in our pastas that we have for lunch. So my broccoli also is one that it's overplanted right now, but I'm gonna see how it grows. We had the rats eat it completely down, and I thought they were all dead, so I just planted a bunch of them so that then I would have enough. And then I planted them all out here thinking, okay, well, if one or two of them die, that's fine, or if they get eaten, that's fine. And then they stopped. Like, we got the rat problem under control, so now we just have a bunch of broccoli, which I'm not mad at. So I am gonna try and keep this bed really heavily fed so that it can support all the things that are back here. Also, it's really close to my worm bin, which is there in the corner, and that produces a lot of just worm castings over here. If you dig anywhere in my garden, you'll find the most worms over here next to their little home, because that is where I feed them. So next to the broccoli, we do have one little snow pea plant that survived the eatings. So I am going to put some more snow peas over here, and then also I'm going to try some runner beans back here. And then I usually grow beets right here in the middle. So I have the beets planted, and then I just planted the runner beans too as well, because they can take a little bit cooler temperatures. So I planted those along that trellis, the beets in the middle, and then some more peas right here. Now, since my cucumbers didn't survive the temperature change, I'm also going to plant some snow peas over here on this arch trellis too as well. Snow peas are one of those things that they're kind of like, we call them our garden snacks, because we just come back here and we just eat them. Every now and then we can resist enough of them to where I have enough to where I can make a stir fry. Otherwise, the stir fry is just broccoli and cauliflower. So over here, guys, I just have some random flowers for the bees. This is pretty much the bee section. And then I also have this amazing lemongrass. If you guys hadn't watched my video on lemongrass and all of the health benefits, make sure you guys check that out. I will link it somewhere below, and then also probably at the end of this video too as well, so that you can see it. But I love having this. This goes into my medicinal section of my garden, and it's an amazing plant, and it's been helping a lot with our health. Now, my actual medicinal bed is over here. Now, I direct seeded my medicinal bed, and then I also got a catnip plant. Now, this was something that I toyed with back and forth because I didn't want to have a ton of cats back here. But everyone told me if you have a cat, then that'll help with the rodent problem. So I do now have a catnip plant because we are allergic to cats, so we can't actually have a cat. But if there's a cat that just wants to come back here and protect my garden at night, there's a little plant for it. Also, catnip tea is something that people can drink too as well for different health benefits. I do plan on making a video about that. I'm growing this catnip plant and I want to see kind of how it grows so that I can give you guys better advice on how I'm growing it and then all the health benefits of it. Okay, so over here things are looking a little rough. Now I'm trying to grow some more Chinese red lung noodle beans. These ones got a lot of just different cold damage, guys, so I'm actually going to take these off of here. I've been leaving them because it's like it doesn't hurt them to have it on there, but it's just pretty much damage from the cold. And so these ones, I'm hoping that they grow. We'll see. It is starting to get winter temperatures during the night, but it's been really hot days and we're starting to go through another heat wave, so we'll see what happens there. Now this was supposed to be a whole bed of these dragon tail radishes, and I started some more in the house, so this will actually be a whole little pot of dragon tail radishes. Now these are supposed to be interesting because they get really, really tall, and then you're supposed to eat the pods, not the roots. And then we have our melon. This one is a Minnesota midget, and it's finally starting to turn a little bit. Like I'm starting to see like the yellowing and then the browning. So I'm hoping this heat wave is going to help kind of push it in, because I think that this plant, guys, is pretty much spent. But for an experiment, it actually did pretty well. And then we have one lone surviving bean plant in here that, you know, is growing, so we're just leaving it there. Over here we have our lemon balm, and then the mint plant, it got eaten, and so then I moved it over to the other spot, and so now it's starting to grow back. Mint is something that it'll just grow back and grow back and grow back. I have some more mint going on in the house, so I'll be adding those and just throwing some seeds in there too as well. So my tree is doing quite nice too, guys. I have my lemons that are on here. As you guys can see, there's tons of lemons. My tree has been losing a lot of leaves for the fall, so I'm just waiting for the lemons to get all nice and ripe, and then I will be getting those. There's one back there too as well, but it also just got a whole bunch of little babies on it too as well. So I'm looking forward to this. Sorry, it's not a lemon plant, guys, it's a lime. It is a dwarf lime. And then this whole top was supposed to be full of lettuce. It got eaten, and now this one lettuce plant is growing back. So once the other lettuces continue to grow a lot bigger in the house, I'm going to bring them out here, and then we'll have some lettuce right here by the door too as well. Now this is my messy spot. Everybody has a messy spot. This one is mine. I need to take all of this stuff and put it into the backyard, or put it in the house or in the garage. So also for you aloe growers, this is my backyard aloe plant. It's getting so nice and so large, and it also is giving me tons of little pups. So I'm ready for this to get even bigger because I use a lot of aloe vera every single week. If you guys haven't watched my aloe vera video, you should, because I made two actually, because I use aloe vera on my hair, and then also I use it for like digestion, and then also during the summer I try to have a ton of it because Mr. Benson drives an open Jeep and tends to get a lot of sunburn. So I like to have it there because if I can get the aloe on him before the sunburns happen, then it lessens the damage to his skin. So gotta watch those aloe videos because those are pretty great. But I wanted to show you guys my garden tour because I know my videos have been a little bit doom and gloom because we've had so many problems back here with the rodents fighting my garden, with the sun being just brutal and crazy, and spider mites and everything. Every problem that I could have possibly had back here this summer, I had. And I just wanted to really show you guys those problems because sometimes they happen. Sometimes you'll have perfect seasons, and I've been lucky to have some perfect seasons year-round for the past 3 years. And this last year just really gave me hell. And getting through it and still continuing with what your main goal is the important thing. So I just want to make sure that I'm inspiring you guys to not give up, because not all the time is it going to be perfect. Not all the time are you going to just have arches full of green, beautiful, lush garden stuff and just harvest all over the place, sometimes you're going to have some struggles, but it's getting through those struggles and it's continuing to do it, because if you continue to do it, then it will lead to you having an amazing harvest. It might just take longer, or your garden might just be at a different time than everybody else's, but it still will produce because you didn't give up on it. So until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.